Hey everyone, my name is Michael Otto. I am the Overland Park Student Ministries Director, and I am joined by my two amazing coworkers. We have Riley and Cassidy here, and we are continuing today our Whispers of Hope Advent devotionals. And so we are answering a few questions today. And so the main question that we're answering today is a time where each of us have really experienced God in a dark time, a whisper of hope. Riley, would you want to kick us off and go first?
Wow, such an honor.
Yeah, it should be.
So my whisper of hope was May of 2023, so about a year and a half ago. I got in a really bad ATV four-wheeler accident. And it's my first time ever riding one, so I didn't really know what to expect. And so, of course, the logicalness in me said, let's go 50 miles an hour without a helmet on.
As one does.
Exactly, yes. Yeah, because I like to live life on the edge. And I was in this big open field in the middle of Kansas that I was very unfamiliar with, and so ended up hitting a ditch that I did not see. ATV flipped. I flipped off of it. Landed like several feet away, and became unconscious, and then somehow miraculously was able to get up because I had this big like gashing wound on my leg, and I think it was just all the adrenaline, when you have all that just gets you going. And so then called my brother. They rushed me off to the hospital. Halfway there, passed out from blood loss. Get there, I know. Get there.
I don't remember that
crazy.
Wow.
Yes. Get there, and all the nurses and stuff are taking care of me. And come to find out, I see the X-ray that they took of my leg, and there was like 1/8 of an inch away from hitting a tendon, which would have meant I would have needed surgery. But I was able to go home that same day, and so. My whisper of hope is just, it's kind of a two-parter, that in the accident itself, like just being protected, and just now just kind of having more so of an understanding of how precious this life is and how as believers, like we shouldn't take that lightly. Like every day is a day to spread the gospel. Every day is a day to be a light for Christ. And I think ever since that accident, that's just something that, I've just really tried to keep at the forefront of my mind. And then after the accident is actually where I felt like things were even worse, because I got a really bad concussion, and so couldn't drive for a little bit. And also keep in mind, this is like at the peak summer staff time, which for the listeners, if you don't know, is like the craziness of our job. And so not being able to drive was a little hard. And I was on crutches, like just all these things. And so I just vividly remember like just sitting in my room, pitch black, just laying there because that's literally all I could do, and just kind of being in my thoughts. Which was not a great place to be, because all that I was thinking about was, what the heck, Lord? Like, why are you letting this happen to me? Like, it's summertime. Like, I'm supposed to be, like, doing my job. I'm supposed to be hanging out with my friends. And I just feels like everything has had to be put on hold. And I, like, audibly heard the Lord say to me, like, Riley, I'm going to turn your mourning into dancing, which comes from Psalm 30. And so I want to read a little bit of that today. It says, "O Lord my God, I cried to you for help, and you have healed me. Sing praises to the Lord, O you his saints, and give thanks to his holy name, for his anger is but for a moment, and his favor is for a lifetime. Weeping may tarry for the night, but joy comes with the morning. Hear, O Lord, and be merciful to me. O Lord, be my helper. You have turned for me my mourning into dancing. You have loosed my sackcloth and clothed me with gladness, that my glory may sing your praise and not be silent. O Lord my God, I will give thanks to you forever." And so, I just, in that season, like I couldn't physically read my Bible, but what I was able to do was just be in solitude with the Lord, be praying with him. And so it's in that moments where, like, there was definitely a lot of moments of me kind of being like, what the heck, Lord? But then there was also a lot of really sweet moments of like, Lord, thank you so much for rescuing me. And like, I understand that like my purpose here is not done. And since then, it's only been a year and a half, but I've already seen him turn that morning into dancing, of just having some sweet community with my friends and being able to have the best coworkers ever and getting to do high school ministry. So that's me.
I'll still never forget getting that call and remembering that you wanted to go on the mission trip the next week. That was,
oh my gosh.
Of
course she did. Yes.
Cass, what about you?
Oh man. I'd have to say a time whenever I heard the Lord give me whispers of hope was kind of around the same time as Riley's. It was about a year and a half ago, April 29th. I had gone away from college. I had gone to visit some friends, and I came home on a Saturday back to my college room, and was really excited to go to our spring formal. I was in a sorority, and I was really excited to wake up my roommate and start getting ready for the day. And I went to wake her up, not knowing that she had actually passed away. And so I found her, passed away, and obviously life kind of exploded from there. I felt like everything stopped for a long time. I didn't finish school that semester. I was blessed with being able to just move on to the next year of school and finish out my classes where I was. But that was a really big, terrible moment in my life, honestly. And for a while, I was just like, what in the world is going on, Lord? Why am I the person who found my sweet friend? Why is she the one who had to pass away? And I was just really angry, honestly, for a long time. But the more that I was able to process and slow down, the more I realized how many blessings I had actually gotten from the Lord in that season. Yeah. All of my years of college, every summer, I had gone to Alabama for a program where I served for 10 weeks and didn't get to be at home with my family, and it was just nonstop work. And this was the first summer that I had actually prepared to be at home for the first time. And that was just,
gonna need that.
The Lord was so kind in doing that for me, of knowing that I would need a time of rest, a time of healing, a time to be with family and be around people who would comfort me. And he had given me so many friends who, right after I found my roommate, my friends took me in. They said, hey, come move in with us. You can sleep in my bed with me. You can sleep on our couch. And they cooked me meals every day. And they just provided so much love and comfort for me. And then it was really crazy. I was sitting at home in my room over the summer, and Psalms 23 had been the passage that I was holding on to pretty much all of college, because I just wanted the Lord to be my shepherd. I wanted him to give me peace and make me lie down beside green pastures. And he had always made my table overflow with blessings that I didn't deserve. But I never thought that I would relate so much to Psalms 23 of verse 4 here. It says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And I never thought that I would quite literally walk through the valley of the shadow of death in the way that I did. But it was really cool to be able to look back and see how the Lord provided friends to comfort me, how he provided my family and space for me to heal. And he continues to provide that. And that went on even into August, the next semester of college. I decided to just go ahead and start work, and I was luckily hired at Colonial and given the best coworkers ever and a new family here. And so I just really feel like he has truly made my cup overflow with goodness and mercy, as it says in verse 6 here. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And even whenever I was going through that dark time, I was dwelling in the house of the Lord, and he did follow that up with goodness and mercy. And he was still good and merciful whenever I did find my friend.
Yeah.
And so that just has been a resounding whisper of hope in my life.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. I mean, I've heard that story a couple of times, but I know like it's still like not an easy thing to share. So we appreciate you doing that. For me, and my whisper of hope it's a pretty recent one. And you guys got to help me just through a really tough season. And I really feel like the whisper is that, because I think a lot of times when tough things happen like loss, the inclination is just to kind of, I don't know, for me at least, maybe push people out, kind of deal with it on my own. And I was just really, really struck and just reminded of like, by God, that, a whisper of hope of that you don't have to walk through this alone. So for me, this story goes back a few years ago. Right before we moved to Kansas City, we were in a small town in Southwest Missouri, and was a part of a student ministry there, and had a really great relationship with a student named Skylar. And was, we just hit it off really quickly. But he was a kid that just needed lots of attention and lots of guidance. It was always, probably every week, talking to his grandma about just how we could partner and how we could, help him really just pursue his faith, but also just, a lot of other things. And so was helping him in a lot of different areas. He was eventually a part of our worship team at the church, but there was still a lot of pain there. A lot of things happened in his life before that. But eventually got him to go to our high school camp that next summer, where I had just the amazing experience to see him and a few of our other students come to know the Lord. And just like getting to share this sweet moment with him as we're both like weeping together and just like in awe of what God had done. And then that next fall, I was actually able to baptize him, and it was just this really great, for me to just experience what God was doing, but also just to see where he'd come and where he was going. And then eventually after that, the Lord led me here to Colonial, as you guys know. And so for a while, we kind of were in an amazing touch. He reached out to me a few times. We tried to get together, but eventually I found out that he was just getting into some things that he shouldn't have been getting into. And I'll just never forget the call I got this last spring. We were at my daughter's soccer game, and I found out that he had passed away. And was in disbelief. I just couldn't believe he was, so young. And it was it was just a really hard season for me. And I'll never forget, we're coming back from the funeral, and we actually had our volunteer awards that night. And I was like, Lord, I need your strength. I need your provision right now. And I was just reminded of this whisper of hope from so many people that knew, I had just gotten back from this funeral, knew it was super raw because I was doing part of the funeral. And I was just reminded, so many people were praying for me. You guys came up to me, and I was just in awe of what God was doing. And there was a verse that I used in that eulogy that I wanted to share with you guys and with everyone. And it's from 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 3-4. And it says, "Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us all in our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. For just as we share abundantly in the sufferings of Christ, so also our comfort abounds through Christ." And so that was just a reminder to me, I was grieving. We've all faced so many difficult things, some of them together, and just the same comfort that we are receiving comes from Christ, and we're sharing that with each other. And so that was a really great reminder for me, and hopefully a really great reminder for everyone that's watching these messages, these little devos, because around this time of year, it can be a glorious time, but it can also be a really difficult time. So, we hope, I think our stories were helpful and just inspiring, and hopefully giving everyone also whispers of hope this Christmas, this Advent season.